C Connaughton. I'm a candidate for Massachusetts State Auditor. And the reason why I have decided to run for this seat is because I saw what was happening on Beacon Hill. Governor Romney appointed me to serve on the Turnpike Board of Directors, and that was an opportunity to see Beacon Hill up close and personal, and to tell you what I did not like what I saw. Quite often I saw government acting in its interest rather than our interest, and that was dead wrong. Now, the auditor is a very important position. The auditor doesn't audit your checkbooks. The auditor audits the money that the government takes from your checkbooks to make sure that money is well spent, to make sure that if there is legislation that's passing through the legislature that can negatively impact town budgets, that those amounts are spelled out. The auditor oversees and is the final arbiter of privatization in the Commonwealth. So if one state agency decides that it might be more efficient to privatize some of the services, the state auditor is the final arbiter of that. The state auditor oversees federal stimulus money, and I, as state auditor, I would take a whole different approach to it. Not only would I do everything that's expected of the job because of what's written in the statute, I would take it to a whole new level. I would bring transparency to the office so you knew how your money is being spent. I would also kind of act as almost like the Congressional Budget Office. You know, when legislation passed this summer consolidating the transportation agencies, as I said, I was on the Turnpike Board, but they dissolved the Turnpike Board and instead established this new authority called Mass Department of Transportation that not only oversees the Turnpike, it oversees all the state highways, the Registry of Motor Vehicles, the regional airports, the regional transportation authorities, and largely the T's, the same board members. Now, when they made this legislation, they said it was reform, and they said that this was going to save $6.5 billion over the next 20 years. Now, if I were auditor at that time, I would say, wait a minute, $6.5 billion, what do you need to do to save that? And I would establish what would happen. You know, A, B, C, D, E would have to happen. But instead, no one did that. I wrote letters to the governor, to the legislature, to try to get the scoop on the numbers. But still, there was no response. So this $6.5 billion figure just went poof, and no one is accountable for it. So the auditor can do other things by not just doing the audits, but also being a major player in things as they are happening. The auditor can be embedded in agencies like the MBTA or the Mass Water Resources Authority to make sure things don't go wrong, rather than just reporting on what's already happened. You know, if the horse is out of the barn, the horse is out of the barn. But we need someone that's going to be in there to try to prevent things from happening. The auditor is the main public advocacy position in the Commonwealth. It reports to no one but you, the public. Now, I'm a CPA. I was trained at Ernst & Young, one of the finest accounting firms in the world. And that experience, combined with my experience on the Turnpike Board, leads me to believe that I can do a bang-up job for you to protect your interests. It's extremely important at this time when people are struggling, this time when fiscal responsibility is the name of the game. There's no other candidate better qualified for this position than I. You know, I have a proven track record of being a watchdog on that Turnpike Board. You might have heard me on Howie Carr, Michael Graham, WBUR, WBZ. You might have read my op-eds in the Worcester Telegram, the Metro West Daily News, the Boston Globe, the Boston Herald. I even started a blog on the Boston Herald website called Toll Talk to let you know what was going on, because I didn't think that the powers that be were letting you know everything that impacted you. So I was very vocal. I voted against the toll hikes. In fact, when I voted against those toll hikes, the Boston Globe decided to find out, who is this Mary Connaughton anyway? So they wound up doing a front page profile piece on me. And in it they said I was the thorniest thorn in Governor Patrick's side. But that was not my intent. My intent was to do my job for you so you knew what was happening. My job was to protect your interest, and that's what I did on the Turnpike Board. Now, things are changing in Massachusetts. They're changing across the country. The newspapers don't have the eyes on the government that they used to. When I first started on that Turnpike Board back in 2005, The State House Press Corps newsroom on the 4th floor of the State House was a bustle with activity. But because of the internet and Craigslist, the lack of classified ad revenues, these newspapers, they're hurting like we're hurting. They don't have the budgets that they used to. They don't have the staff to keep their eyes on Beacon Hill like they used to. Maybe they'll be able to work it out by coming up with a better revenue model for themselves. But right now, we need an auditor, now more than ever, that is going to protect your interests. If you look at my track record, I was CFO of the lottery. I taught accounting at Framingham State College. I'm a graduate of University of Massachusetts. I got an MBA at Assumption College in Worcester. I served on the Commission on Judicial Conduct for 6 years. I have the experience and the track record to do my job for you, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Now, when I first started the Turnpike Board back in 2005, the Boston Herald wrote that Governor Romney unleashed an attack dog on the Turnpike Board. The Associated Press referred to me as a pit bull, and I'm telling you, if you like me as a pit bull on the Turnpike Board, you will love me as a pit bull in the State Auditor's office. And I hope I have your support, and thank you very much. Please visit my website, maryforauditor.com. I'd really appreciate it. It's maryforauditor.com. I, Mary Connaughton, will do my job for you.
The next state auditor will be Mary, who is an auditor. Many of you have checked out her background and credentials on the website, so I don't have to recite them here and now. Thank you very much. And without further ado, Mary, tell us why you're running.
I shall.
What you're going to do, what you've done in the past.
Okay, I shall.
And the future.
The future's the key.
We can't predict the future. I gave up doing that yesterday. But you can give it a skip.
Thanks. I really appreciate it, Jean. She's been terrific. Boy, what a great person to have on your team, because she is a fighter to the end, and I really appreciate you having me here. I appreciate all you've done for the campaign. It's terrific. It makes a huge difference for everyone, and for me in particular.
You deserve it.
Thank you. Well, I am out here. I'm working hard to win this race. It's been an incredible, incredible experience. You know, I got my start in politics actually going down to my mailbox. In my mailbox one day, I walked there, it was 2004, opened my mailbox, and in it was a letter. Open up the letter, it was from the Framingham Republican Town Committee. I live in Framingham. And in that letter, they wrote, it said that they wanted me, Mary Connaughton, to run for state rep. I look at this letter, I think that's terrific. I said to my husband, Rick, I said, Rick, they want me to run for state rep. He said, they do? And I said, yes, look. He looks at it, he says, go for it. And I said, sure, I love it. And I did. It was an incredible experience. I knocked on about 4,000 doors, raised $40,000 in cash, even got endorsed by the local newspaper, the Metro West Daily News. It was a great experience. I was really thrilled to be doing it. But then one day, Ed McGrath, the chair of the Framingham Republican Town Committee, comes up to me and says, Mary, I have to tell you the truth. I said, the truth, Ed? What's the truth? He said, that letter. I said, yeah? He said, we sent that to everyone who voted. Well, I was humbled, moved on. I didn't win that race, but I learned something very important. What I learned was that before the public wants to elect you into office, they want to see you in action. And boy, have I been in action. I started out, I got a call from the town moderator, and I served on the Framingham Finance Committee. Now, if anyone's here served on a finance committee, you know what that involves. It's a lot of work, but it's a great experience to really learn municipal finances from the ground on up, to really understand all the forces that are impacting towns and our property taxes. It was a great experience. But the experience that drove me to be here tonight, to stand before you as a candidate for state auditor, was the experience I had serving on the Massachusetts Turnpike Authority Board. And that was an experience. Governor Romney appointed me to that board in 2005. And I got an opportunity to see Beacon Hill up close and personal. And I have to tell you, I didn't like what I saw.